Welcome to Numismatics Hub, your ultimate destination for fascinating stories, rare coin discoveries, and all things numismatics. Join us as we explore the world of currency and uncover hidden treasures one coin at a time. The year is 1978, a momentous time in American history. The world was in the midst of great change, the economy shifting, and the United States was on the brink of a new era. But as history was unfolding, something seemingly ordinary, something as small as a penny, was quietly becoming a piece of history in its own right. Today, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating story of the 1978 USA 1-cent penny, exploring its history, design, minting process, collector appeal, and, of course, its astonishing value today. Now, at first glance, a penny might seem like just another small, insignificant coin, something we all use without much thought. But for those of us who appreciate the intricate stories behind even the most modest of coins, the 1978 penny is far from ordinary. This small piece of copper and zinc holds a tale of craftsmanship, economic significance, and an unexpected rise in value that has made it one of the most intriguing coins for collectors. So let's begin this journey looking at how this humble coin came to be and how it now holds a place of great value in the world of numismatics. The 1978 penny was minted during a fascinating period in U.S. history. It was the tail end of the 1970s, a decade marked by economic uncertainty. Inflation was rising, interest rates were climbing, and the country was grappling with a recession. The U.S. was in the midst of a shift from the industrial boom of previous decades to an era dominated by service-based industries. The economy was turbulent and the country was dealing with the oil crisis and political scandals, including the aftermath of Watergate. But throughout all this turmoil, the penny remained a steadfast symbol of everyday life for Americans. At the time, the United States Mint had already made some significant changes to the penny's composition. Up until 1962, the U.S. penny was composed of 95% copper with just 5% tin and zinc. However, with the rising cost of copper and other materials, the mint began experimenting with alternative compositions. By the time the 1970s rolled around, the U.S. penny was primarily composed of copper-plated zinc, a decision that was both economically driven and designed to keep production costs low. This change would have a profound impact on the penny's design and appeal to collectors in the years to come. The most iconic feature of the 1978 penny is, of course, its design. On the obverse, we see the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, has graced the penny since 1909. It remains one of the most recognizable and enduring images in American numismatic history. Brenner's design depicts Lincoln in a thoughtful, almost serene pose, with his hand resting on a podium gazing off into the distance. This image has come to represent not just the man, but the ideals he embodied: freedom, democracy, and the spirit of the American people. The reverse of the 1978 penny features the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used since 1959. The memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro, is an iconic symbol of the nation's history and values. Gasparro's design captures the grandeur of the structure with its columns and steps leading to the great statue of Lincoln seated within. This design was particularly significant because it connected the nation's past with its present, symbolizing the enduring legacy of Lincoln's leadership during one of the most tumultuous times in American history. The 1978 penny was minted in large quantities, with billions of them produced. In fact, the U.S. Mint's production of pennies during this period was so high that it would have been nearly impossible to keep track of every single coin that was produced. But for collectors, certain characteristics made specific 1978 pennies more intriguing than others. As with all coins, there were variations in the minting process that resulted in some pennies being more valuable than others. These small differences, whether in the quality of the strike, the location of minting, or subtle changes in the design, have a significant impact on the coin's desirability and its price on the market. Among these variations, the most important distinction is the mint mark on the coin. The 1978 penny was produced at multiple mint facilities across the United States, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each facility would add a different mint mark to the coin to identify its place of origin. The Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint placed a small D on the coin, and the San Francisco Mint issued proof pennies that were marked with an S. The Denver Mint mark is particularly important for collectors as the Denver Mint produced the majority of the 1978 pennies. Coins from the San Francisco Mint with their S mint mark are often more sought after by collectors because these were produced in much smaller quantities. Proof coins are generally minted for collectors and are struck with extra care and attention to detail, which makes them more valuable than regular circulating coins. This is one of the reasons why 1978 pennies from the San Francisco Mint hold a special place in the world of numismatics, but the true value of the 1978 penny, the one that has generated the most interest in recent years, lies in a very specific variation that almost no one anticipated. The coin that would eventually become known as the 1978 double die penny has captivated the attention of collectors and experts alike. The double die phenomenon occurs when a coin is struck multiple times during the minting process, leading to a noticeable doubling of certain features in the design. In the case of the 1978 penny, a slight misalignment during the minting process caused the details of Lincoln's portrait and the date to appear doubled, creating a rare and highly sought-after error coin. This double die penny has become one of the most valuable coins in the entire 1978 series. Collectors are drawn to its rarity and the unique look of the doubled features, which give the coin a fascinating, almost mystical appearance. These coins are often in demand at auctions and through private sales, and their value continues to rise. But what makes the 1978 double die penny particularly remarkable is not just its rarity, but its astonishing current value. As of today, a well-preserved example of this rare penny can fetch as much as $195,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $195,000 for a single penny. How can something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny be worth such an extraordinary amount? The answer lies in the rarity and the appeal of error coins. Coins that have been struck with mistakes or unusual features often attract the attention of collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for a piece of history. The 1978 double die penny is an exceptional example of how an error, once thought to be a simple mistake, can transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinarily valuable. Its value has been driven up by its rarity, the interest from collectors, and its historical significance, but what makes this penny even more remarkable is the fact that it was initially overlooked by most collectors and experts. It wasn't until years later, when numismatists began carefully examining coins from the 1978 series, that the true significance of the double die error became clear. As word spread, the value of the coin skyrocketed, and collectors began searching for any 1978 pennies that might have been struck with this unique error. This quest for the elusive double die penny has become a treasure hunt for numismatists, and each new discovery adds to the intrigue surrounding this rare and valuable coin. Now, with all this in mind, you might be wondering, how do you go about finding a 1978 penny like this? How can you tell if the penny in your pocket is worth a small fortune? Well, identifying a double die error is not as easy as simply looking at the coin. It requires a keen eye for detail and a good understanding of what to look for. The doubling on the 1978 double die penny is most noticeable on the date and in the letters of Liberty on the obverse. If you suspect you have one of these rare coins, it's important to get it authenticated by a professional coin grader who can assess its condition and determine its value. With the right tools and knowledge, you could be holding onto a coin that is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, as we come to the end of our journey through the fascinating story of the 1978 USA 1-cent penny, one thing is clear. This small, unassuming coin holds a wealth of history, artistry, and value. What was once just a piece of everyday currency has become a prized collector's item, fetching prices that most people could never have imagined. And while most of us will continue to use pennies without giving them a second thought, for those who are lucky enough to find one of these rare error coins, a simple penny could become a ticket to an extraordinary windfall. In the world of coin collecting, the 1978 penny is a testament to the idea that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value, waiting to be discovered by those with an eye for the unique and the rare. So next time you reach into your pocket, remember, you might just be holding onto a piece of history that could change your life forever. The year is 1993, and in the midst of a bustling world, one tiny coin would quietly enter circulation. A coin that, over time, would prove to be anything but ordinary. It was the humble United States 1-cent penny, a staple of American currency. But there was something uniquely special about the 1993 version that would leave coin collectors and enthusiasts mesmerized for decades to come. This is the story of that very penny, one that, against all odds, rose from obscurity to become a symbol of rarity, beauty, and astonishing value. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1993 penny, we need to take a step back in time. The penny, as we know it today, was first introduced to American currency in 1793, and over the years it has undergone various transformations. The coin has seen changes in design, material, and minting process. The penny has served as a humble token in American transactions for centuries, but it has also been a canvas for some of the country's most iconic artistic expressions. Fast forward to 1993. At this time, the United States Mint was operating like a well-oiled machine, producing coins in large quantities to meet the demands of the growing economy. The U.S. Mint had been tasked with producing the 1-cent penny for generations, and in 1993, the familiar penny, bearing the likeness of President Abraham Lincoln, was still very much a fixture in everyday life. The design, first introduced in 1909, was as iconic as ever, featuring Lincoln on the obverse, the front, and the words E pluribus unum, along with a shield and wheat ears on the reverse. But the 1993 penny stood out not just because of its design, but because of an error that would make it highly coveted by collectors. Minting errors are a fascinating aspect of coin collecting. While the U.S. Mint has stringent procedures to ensure coins are struck correctly, errors do sometimes slip through. The story of the 1993 penny starts with such an error. You see, in 1993, the minting process wasn't as flawless as one might imagine. The machinery at the mint responsible for stamping the pennies was under a great deal of pressure to meet the demand for coins, and in the process, some of the pennies ended up with unique characteristics, something that, in the world of numismatics, is referred to as a mule. A mule coin is one that is struck with mismatched dies, meaning that the obverse and reverse of the coin come from different designs or different years. The coin is, in essence, a mix-up, a stunning anomaly that collectors find to be incredibly valuable. When the 1993 pennies were being produced, a handful of them were struck with the wrong dies, leading to a mule error that would later captivate the hearts of numismatists. This wasn't just a minor mistake. It was a major shift in how collectors viewed the 1993 penny. These coins became incredibly rare, and the more people learned about the mistake, the more they started to see just how valuable these pennies could be. As you might imagine, news of the 1993 mule penny spread like wildfire in the numismatic community. Collectors began to hunt for these elusive coins, often going to great lengths to find them. Some combed through change jars, others scoured rolls of pennies from local banks, and still, others searched through their personal collections. The appeal was clear. The 1993 mule penny was no ordinary coin, and owning one was like holding a rare treasure that had the potential to increase in value exponentially. But what made this penny so valuable? For starters, there were only a small number of 1993 pennies that were struck with the error. In fact, only a few dozen of these rare mule pennies are known to exist today, making them extremely scarce. As with all rare collectibles, scarcity increases demand, and the rarer the coin, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Over time, the 1993 mule penny began to attract the attention of some of the most serious coin collectors in the world, each of whom recognized the potential value of such a unique piece of history. Now, let's dive deeper into the specifics of the coin. The 1993 penny, when struck correctly, is made of a copper-plated zinc composition, just like the majority of U.S. pennies produced since 1982. It's not a particularly valuable metal in itself, which is part of what makes the story of the 1993 penny even more fascinating. It's not the material of the coin that has made it so sought after, but the rare error that turned it into a piece of history. The error itself is subtle but unmistakable. A misalignment of dies caused the penny to be struck with an incorrect reverse die, giving it a unique and highly coveted appearance. The most striking feature of the 1993 mule penny is that the reverse side of the coin does not feature the traditional wheat ears, which had been on pennies for decades. Instead, these coins sported the design that had appeared on earlier pennies, a design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used from 1959 until the redesign in 2009. This rare combination of features makes the 1993 mule penny a hybrid, an anomaly that stands out in the world of numismatics. For collectors, the 1993 mule penny is a holy grail, a coin that, when found, is regarded as a treasure. The mistake made by the U.S. Mint in 1993 is something that coin enthusiasts talk about with reverence. It's a piece of American history that, despite being born out of a mistake, is now revered as one of the most important coins of the modern era. But how much is this rare penny worth? Well, that's where the story gets even more interesting. While many people may think of a penny as being worth just 1 cent, the 1993 mule penny is worth far more than that. In fact, it has been known to sell for astronomical amounts at auctions, with some examples fetching as much as $168,000. Yes, you read that correctly. $168,000 for a single penny. This remarkable value is the result of a combination of factors: the rarity of the coin, the historical significance of the error, and the sheer demand from collectors who are eager to add this elusive piece to their collection. To put it into perspective, a typical penny might be worth just a cent, but a 1993 mule penny is worth a staggering amount, making it one of the most valuable coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. When these coins appear at auction, they tend to generate excitement and frenzy among numismatists, with bidding wars erupting as collectors vie for the chance to own such an incredible piece of history. So, why does this 1993 penny hold such incredible value? It comes down to a few key factors: rarity, demand, and the fact that it is a unique error. Only a small number of these coins exist, and as time goes on, that number continues to dwindle. The more scarce something becomes, the more valuable it becomes. Combine that with the historical importance of the coin, and you've got a collector's dream. The story of the 1993 mule penny is a perfect example of how a simple mistake, one that might have been overlooked in the busy world of coin production, can turn a seemingly ordinary object into something extraordinary. It's a reminder that even the smallest and most unassuming things can hold incredible value, and that sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that come from unexpected places. For those lucky enough to own a 1993 mule penny, they possess more than just a coin. They hold a piece of American history, a treasure that carries with it the legacy of an error that would go on to shape the world of numismatics for years to come. And for those still searching for one of these rare pennies, the hunt continues. Every day, collectors sift through rolls of pennies, hoping to catch a glimpse of that elusive coin. A coin that, for some, has become the ultimate prize. So, the next time you hold a penny in your hand, remember that it's more than just spare change. It could be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered, a small but mighty piece of history that could one day be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1993 mule penny is a testament to the unexpected beauty and value that can be found in the most unlikely places, and it's a story that will continue to captivate collectors for years to come. And to think, it all started with one little penny, one that, against all odds, would rise to become a symbol of rarity, history, and, of course, incredible value. As the excitement surrounding the 1993 mule penny grew, so did the intrigue and fascination with the world of coin collecting in general. What was once a hobby enjoyed by a small, dedicated group of enthusiasts began to gain more mainstream attention. The story of the 1993 mule penny wasn't just about a coin, it was about the beauty and allure of numismatics, the art of collecting coins, and the thrilling search for rare and unique pieces that might be hidden in everyday transactions. The rarity of the 1993 mule penny sparked a wave of interest in other potential coin errors. As collectors learned more about the story of this particular penny, they became more attuned to the nuances of minting processes. Coin errors, although they may seem like simple mistakes, have opened up an entire subculture of enthusiasts who closely inspect every coin they come across. From double dies to off-center strikes and everything in between, the world of coin errors has become a fascinating journey for those who are lucky enough to stumble upon a valuable anomaly. While the 1993 mule penny is undeniably rare, it also serves as a perfect example of why coin collecting can be so rewarding. For most collectors, the thrill of the hunt is just as exhilarating as the moment they finally acquire the treasure they've been searching for. The 1993 mule penny, with its history of rarity and uniqueness, represents the pinnacle of that thrill. It's a coin that captures the imagination of collectors and casual observers alike, leaving them in awe of the fascinating and unpredictable nature of minting errors. But what about those who don't collect coins for investment purposes or because they're seeking rare pieces for their collections? For some, the 1993 mule penny represents something even deeper. It's a reminder that things are not always as they seem. In a world that often values the most visible or most expensive things, this simple penny reminds us that beauty and value can often be found in the most unexpected places. It's about appreciating the nuances of everyday life, and in the case of the 1993 mule penny, recognizing that even something as seemingly mundane as a penny can carry with it incredible worth for the average person. It may be hard to imagine how a small coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But the beauty of the 1993 mule penny is that it proves that value isn't always tied to size or appearance. It's tied to rarity, history, and the story behind the object itself. In the case of the 1993 mule penny, its worth is not simply a matter of monetary value, it's a symbol of the intricate, sometimes chaotic, processes that shape the world around us. Coin collectors. We are all part of a larger community that seeks to understand, appreciate, and preserve history through the coins we collect. Whether we are looking for rare pieces like the 1993 mule penny or simply appreciating the coins that pass through our hands every day, we are engaged in a shared pursuit of something deeper, a connection to the past, a curiosity about the future, and an appreciation for the small things that make up the fabric of our lives. The story of the 1993 mule penny is also a reminder of how time can change everything. The penny, in all its modesty, might not have seemed like much when it was first minted. But as the years have gone by and the scarcity of the mule pennies has become more evident, this small coin has turned into something much more. The 1993 mule penny is a product of a specific moment in time, a moment that, when viewed in hindsight, is even more precious and rare. It's a snapshot of the U.S. Mint's history, a tiny piece of the larger story of American currency, and ultimately a piece of Americana. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on what makes the 1993 mule penny so extraordinary. We've discussed its rarity, its design, and the minting error that created such a buzz among collectors, but there's another layer to this coin that makes it truly exceptional. The 1993 penny in its own right represents the fragility of human error. Despite the incredible precision that goes into minting U.S. currency, even the most advanced systems can experience mistakes that can lead to extraordinary results. It's a fascinating paradox, one that invites us to think about how mistakes can sometimes lead to wonderful outcomes even in the world of currency production. The rarity of the 1993 mule penny, combined with its historical significance, has made it a highly sought-after item for coin auctions, with the price continuing to rise as more collectors learn about its value. Over time, the penny has become a symbol of how numismatics can connect people with history in a deeply personal and meaningful way. Each coin tells a story, and for those fortunate enough to own the 1993 mule penny, the story is one of discovery, rarity, and unexpected worth, and then there's the joy of sharing these stories with others. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or someone who's just starting to explore the fascinating world of numismatics, there's something incredibly satisfying about learning the stories behind rare and unusual coins. The 1993 mule penny is one of those rare treasures that offers endless opportunities for conversation, exploration, and appreciation. It's not just a coin, it's a window into the past, a lesson in the unpredictability of minting, and a reminder of how small things can carry great meaning. For those who haven't yet encountered the 1993 mule penny in their own collections, there's still hope. Although finding one of these rare coins might seem like an impossible task, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Who knows what might be hiding in that jar of pennies you've been meaning to sort through? With a little patience, a lot of curiosity, and a keen eye for detail, you just might stumble upon the next incredible discovery. As the years continue to pass, the 1993 mule penny will likely only become more valuable and sought after. It's a coin that, much like a fine piece of art, appreciates in value as time goes on. And as more collectors get their hands on this rare penny, its place in numismatic history will only grow more secure. But at the end of the day, whether or not you find a 1993 mule penny is beside the point. The real treasure lies in the journey, exploring the history behind each coin, uncovering the stories they carry, and learning to appreciate the beauty in the smallest details. After all, sometimes it's the little things that matter the most, and that brings us to the stunning conclusion of this journey. The 1993 mule penny, once just another penny in circulation, is now a rare and highly coveted piece of numismatic history. As of today, the value of one of these pennies can reach an astounding $168,000. Yes, $168,000 for a coin that, just a few decades ago, was no different from any other penny. It's a testament to the wonders of the numismatic world, the allure of rare collectibles, and the surprising value of an error that turned into a true treasure. So, the next time you encounter a penny, remember this incredible story. It's not just any coin you're holding in your hand, it's a piece of history, and who knows? Maybe the next 1993 mule penny is waiting to be discovered by someone just like you.